Hi everyone, it's Jill with Greenwood Girl Cards, and I'm here filming a video. I'm going to actually do something a little bit different. I'm going to put a couple cards together while I'm filming. So I have a really bad setup, but I'm going to try it. Anyway, I'm putting my card together for the Paper Sweeties Inspiration Challenge number 37. It's the November challenge. It'll run the entire month of November over on the Paper Sweeties blog. There's always a $20 gift certificate up for grabs, as well as a chance to guest design with the Paper Sweeties teamies. So the colors this month are a little, my print isn't very good, but they're kind of like a sagey or hunterish green, fall colored green, an orange, and a brown. So this didn't print very well, so just ignore the color. And then I chose to use this sketch from Freshly Made Sketches. It's sketch number 21. I just went on to Pinterest, I typed in card sketches, and then I picked one at random. And I wanted to pick something fairly simple since I was going to try and film a video. So I'm going to show you how I put not just one, but two different cards together using this sketch. But they're both going to follow the sketch exactly. So here we go, okay? First of all, I'm going to show you with the stamp set that I'm going to be using from Paper Sweeties is called the Splendor of Autumn. And the little doll that I'm using, the Paper Sweeties doll, is named Sophie. So I've taken this Splendor of Autumn outfit, her little poncho, and I have stamped it and paper pieced it on a couple different papers. And I actually decided to go ahead and make two cards. So I paper pieced it twice. And then you'll notice this is a really good trick. I took my white gel pen, my Jelly Roll pen, and the other white pen. I actually used both of my white pens today, but I used the Jelly Roll pen to make these little round dots at the bottom of the poncho that they're wearing, and I made a little bow, and that's just to give the poncho some interest and some definition. And those Jelly Roll pens, what's neat about them is they dry with a little bit of definition to them, so they're really a nice thing to use on your cards. And then on their faces I added freckles with the Ranger, I think it's a Ranger pen that's white. And I also put some little dots, if you can see it, on their little orange bows in their hair. So these I just put together first and colored them with Copics and set them aside. So they're all paper pieced, and I even added some little bows to their shoes or boots. Okay, so these are all ready to go. And again, this is using the Splendor of Autumn set, boutique set from Paper Sweeties. And then the doll is named Sophie, I think. Yeah. I'm tired today, so bear with me. My son is still sick. So anyway, next, I basically took all of the pieces that are needed from the sketch. So I cut two 1-inch pieces of cardstock at 5 1/4 inches, I think, or 5 inches. And then I cut a piece that was 4 1/4 inches across and 1 inch down. So basically, you just look at the sketch and kind of figure what size you think you need. And then I also cut a circle. And then to add dimension to the pieces, what I do is I use some ink and an ink dauber like this. And in this case, I use this paper tray fine linen ink because I wanted to outline the pieces, but I didn't want it to be too dark. So it's almost more like a tea dye effect. So I just went around. These are just some stitched circle die cuts. And then I did go around each piece of the pattern paper. And I don't know if you'll really be able to tell, but it does. There's always a white line when you cut pattern paper. And so if you edge that with ink, it takes away the kind of that white cutting line effect. And it adds just a subtle dimension to your paper. So inking is always a nice thing to do. So all of these pieces have been inked, okay? And then after kind of taking a look at my card, I decided I wanted even more texture. So I took a leaf embossing folder, and then this one is a gingham embossing folder that my friend Mimi, who is, Scrappy 79. I will link Mimi's channel in the comments because I'm so bad at remembering channel names, you guys. I remember names, Mimi, but I'm really bad with the channel names. So, especially when I'm overtired. But anyway, so I just added additional texture to the fronts of the cards by just doing some embossing. And it's a really quick way to take your card from kind of simple to wow. So we're going to go ahead on camera, and I'm going to start putting these together. I'm hoping I can do this and you guys will be able to see. I'm I'm moving the camera so I can kind of see if I'm going to be in frame here while I do this. It's my first time doing this, so bear with me. A lot of people have asked what I put my cards together with, and I used to use tape runner, and I'm sure there are good tape runners out there that stick really well, but after your cards are sitting for a while, like if you don't give them away right away, or if you're going to use them for a design team and send them off to be displayed in a store, which is where a lot of my cards end up, I have found that to really hold the cards together, the best thing to use is this Tombow Mono Multi-Glue. And Christina Werner, Jennifer McGuire, I think a lot of people have referred to this glue. And there's lots of different glues out there that are good. This is just the one that I choose to use. And I tend to order it in bulk and get it on sale. If you go out and Google a site, a lot of times you can, if they have it on sale, you can order a case of it or whatever, because I go through a lot of glue, but that's just a suggestion to get it at a less expensive price. Also, anytime one of your stores has a 40% off or 30% off or whatever, your entire purchase, that's a really good time to stock up on glue. So this is what I'm going to use to put my card together today, but again, you could use whatever you wanted. So I'm going to start by following the sketch here. The first thing I'm going to put down are my 2 strips of 1-inch paper, and I just put a little line of glue along the back, and then I arrange it on my card, centering it between the top and bottom of the card. So, and make sure that it's even along the edge too. So you want to make sure that it's running parallel and even along the edge. And I usually put them together over on my desk where I have a grid mat, but for the purposes of filming, I'm over here today. So I can actually use my paper as a guideline to make sure that my card is going together straight. So then I have this one, which this paper is orange, and it has like a little text pattern to it with some fall words and stuff. So that one's going to go right next to it, and again, following the sketch. They're fairly close together in the sketch. There's a little bit of a space. So we'll glue those down, and anytime you're gluing something down on a card, you want to make sure that it adheres if you're gluing it to an embossed surface. So I'm just giving it a little bit of pressure. Okay, and then following the sketch, you'll notice that the circle is on top of this strip that's going across, and I'm pretty far away. I don't know if you can see that. I'll lift it up. So this is the circle's on top of this. So the next piece to glue down is that. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue. This Tombow Mono is very sticky, so it does a really good job of adhering. You don't need very much, in other words. So in that way, it's also a good glue, because you just need a little bit. A little bit goes a long way. Now, you could, in this case, you could pop up the circle and start adding dimension at this point. But what I'm going to do, because I like to have my cards be somewhat able to be mailed, I'm actually going to do this fairly flat, and I'm only going to add dimensionals to the back of the little Paper Sweeties doll. So the first thing I need to do before I do that is I need to stamp my sentiments. Okay, so bear with me here. I like to do all my stamping at one time if at all possible. And so on these cards, I think I'm going to put the Splendor of Autumn, because I think that's just a beautiful saying. And I love these round lawn fawn, and I think other people make them too. These particular ones are lawn fawn. But I like these ones that have the gripped edges because they're very easy to hold on to. So that's what I'm using. And they also have a grid on them. I don't know if you can see the grid, but there's a grid so you can line up your stamp to make sure it's straight. So that's what I use. Okay. And did I bring the right ink over here to stamp with? I don't think I did. So let's see. Oh, yep, I did. I just lost it for a second. Ah, the joys of being live on camera. So I'm inking it up, and in my case, I tend to take the ink to the stamp that way, and then I take a good look at it to make sure it looks fine, and I just decide where I'm going to stamp. So I know I want her to the left. So I'm going to put it right here. The Splendor of Autumn. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same. Since I'm stamping, I might as well do them both at the same time. So we'll put this one here like this, and I will re-ink. And again, I take the ink to the block. If you do get ink around your block, I just go like this and wipe it off, because there's always a chance when you're stamping on a soft surface that you'll end up with ink on your cardstock. So again, I'm going to make sure that I have it where I want it and stamp down. And you really don't need to press hard. As long as you have a little bit of give on your surface underneath, you'll get a clean impression every single time. I love clear stamps because you can see what you're doing, and it makes it really easy to put together a really nice crisp image. And I love these memento little these small ink pads. If you don't have a lot of money, the small ink pads are a great investment. They last a long time, and memento is a really good ink to use. You can color with Copics, and it's just great for stamping too. So I have my image ready to go on the card, and now I'm just going to grab some dimensionals, which I didn't bring to my table, so oops, I bumped the camera again. Sorry. All right. I'm just going to add a few dimensionals so that I can put Sophie on the card. Just tear that one in half, since I don't have my scissor handy right here. Alrighty. So then you just take the release papers off of the back, and you're going to line up, see kind of what you're doing on your card here. You want to make sure that you have her in the right spot, because once you press them down, she's going to definitely be adhered. So I kind of like that. Let's see. Do I like that? I want her to look like she's standing on the brown ground. So I think we'll go like that. There we go. And then all I need to do, let me put this on the back of this one. All right. So then what we need to do is just put a little bit of glue, and then put this right back so that it looks like she is standing right on the edge of that brown piece of paper. So maybe a little bit higher. Okay. And then again, you just want to make sure you press, give it a firm press so that you're sure that it's adhering to the card. And there is the finished card. Now I will probably go and add some Paper Sweeties sequins or something just to give it a little bit of a glow. And I usually try to do them in a triangle, so maybe 2 down here and 1 up here or something. So I will probably do that off camera, but the gist of the card, or the basis of the card, is done. Okay, and what's neat is sometimes if you're, the other thing that I like to do is just to add a mat to the inside of the card, and that gives it additional interest when they open it. So this is actually a die from Paper Tray Ink. It's one of their bookmark dies. It's a tag sort of die, and I just die cut it, and then again I edged it in that fine linen ink. And I'm just going to glue that to the inside and just kind of center it. And then what's neat is it says the Splendor of Autumn on the front. And it's a little bit off. And then on the inside, I'm going to put Thankful for You. So that's another one of the sentiments. So I'm going to switch out, and I'll just put, again, arrange it on your stamp block, and you can put it down on the table. I didn't do it that way this time, but you can just lay the stamp on your surface and then pick it up using the line on the grid block. That's usually the easiest way. So I'm just going to put Thankful for You right in the center. So we'll go into this one and do the same thing. And then I will assemble a second card really quick. So I will have 2 cards done. So the Splendor of Autumn, and then on the inside, Thankful for You. So, and I might even just add a strip of, you know, I don't know, a little something on the inside, a little stamping or something, some leaves or a pumpkin. So, but there you go. That's, you know, using a sketch, you can come up with a card, I think, very, very quickly. And it goes really rapidly. I think if you just, you know, what I usually do is just pick one paper pad and pull out whatever papers I think are going to look really nice. Let's turn it this way. So I'll pick out some papers that I think coordinate well together. And what's so nice about, you know, all the 6x6 paper pads that they have now is that they always have coordinating papers in them. So if you're making, you know, a card where you're going to paper piece an image like I did today, it's fairly easy to just pull something that you like that goes together really fast. And all of a sudden, you have a card. And I know there's a lot of people out there that really struggle with card making. And if you are one of those people and you're just getting started and you feel like, oh, I just struggle for hours and hours over trying to make a card and I just can't seem to do it, I highly suggest that you start using a sketch for a while. And what you'll find is that the sketch actually helps you get a feel for forming focal points on your cards and stuff. Because if you look at sketches, they generally all will have a focal point circle. And just like in this sketch, for example, you know, this one has a circle, but you could change that to a heart, you know, to a rectangle. You can really be flexible with what the sketch shows. You don't have to follow it, you know, exactly. So I could have put a heart on here. I could have done a bunch of different things if I wanted to. So you definitely have flexibility. So all these cards really need to finish them off is a little bit of glitz on the front with either some sequins or bling, maybe some orange or cream pearls or brown pearls, you know, or even just a little bow or some twine or something. So we'll see what, I'll fiddle around with that off camera. But that's it for me today. This video is pretty long, so I'm going to let you go. But in just a few minutes, we have 2 cards made using a freshly made sketches sketch. Again, whoops, excuse my arm, number 21. And again, I found the sketch on Pinterest. So thank you very much for watching. This is Jill with Greenwood Girl Cards. I hope you'll come back again. Bye now.